Budget.
You know, you see deer and squirrels and hawks and rabbits. Then there's this moose blocking you and your dog from getting into your yard.
This Billings moose is sticking around. Tonight, what police and FWP are doing to get this moose on the move. Plus, forget fall foliage, it's starting to look like winter up in Red Lodge. And if you've ever wanted to turn your yard into a dog park, you guessed it, there's an app for that.
We just really wanted to have a safe spot for, other people to enjoy and come relax and not have to worry about any injuries or things like that.
We'll introduce you to these Yellowstone County residents hoping to turn a profit with this unique idea. The MTN News starts right now.
From Montana's news leader, this is the MTN 530 News.
Well, good evening, everyone, and thanks for joining us on this Tuesday. I'm Russ Riesigner. Our top story tonight, it's day 2 of Bullwinkle in Billings. The moose remains on the loose here in the Magic City. Today, even had police in pursuit. At one point, he spent some time lounging on the campus of Rocky Mountain College. Tonight, our Kelsey Marison speaks with Fish, Wildlife, and Parks on their plans moving forward.
The moose is still on the loose in Billings, but Fish, Wildlife, and Parks is keeping a close eye on the situation with the help of the Billings Police Department, who's been monitoring the young moose as he makes his way through the Magic City.
We were canoeing down the canal from Rose Park, and there was I thought it was a cow or a horse.
Few people canoe the big canal that runs through Billings, and it's safe to say even those who have never encountered wildlife like this. And Duchess and Lee Gordon didn't just encounter this moose, they almost ran into it as he swam in the canal.
The moose doesn't want to hurt you, and it's just scared, but again, if you put yourself in a bad spot with an animal that big, you can get hurt.
Luckily, the moose took off after the couple's dog barked and ran down the street, followed by several vehicles. But the Gordons were concerned, so much so they called Fish, Wildlife, and Parks.
Right now, our hope for the moose is that it finds its own way out of town without too much FWP or Billings Police Department interference.
Chrissy Webb with FWP says wildlife officers are closely monitoring the situation, and it can be a tricky situation relocating a wild animal that weighs more than 1,000 pounds.
There have been some instances both in Billings and other places around the state where we have had to relocate the moose. That's logistically challenging for FWP staff, for any law enforcement that have to be involved with the local police department, and can also create some safety risks for the human.
So for now, the moose is still in town. FWP continues to monitor the animal, and so do Billings police.
I see all these cop cars lined up against 17. I was like, wow, I wonder what's going on now. And one of the police officers came over and he said that the moose was back.
Michael Young didn't hesitate to help police when she realized her roof would make a great vantage point for police officers Tuesday morning.
Then I just told him to, why don't you go up on the roof and, see if you can see him from there.
A sight capturing the attention of everyone from police to backyard moose watchers.
That's why I love Montana. This is the biggest city we got, and right in the middle of it, we still got wildlife.
Right in the middle of it, but hopefully on his way out soon. In Billings, Kelsey Marison, MTN News.
And now to another crazy story as a driver turned the city of Roundup into their own personal racetrack. It was all caught on camera and happened right in front of police as the driver changed lanes and quickly reversed directions in the middle of the road before finally fleeing. Our Charlie Kleps has more on this dangerous driver.
This intersection in Roundup doesn't usually see a ton of traffic or aggressive drivers, but Monday night was the exception. And in order to get a real sense for what happened, you've got to see the video. This was the scene Monday night at about 9:30 in Roundup. Quiet Main Street, looking more like a scene out of the Fast and Furious.
The gentleman in the car, whoever was in the car, had no regard for public safety at all.
Shane Kaling owns a trucking company and has lived in Roundup since 2009. He says part of the reason he moved here was to avoid dangerous situations like this.
If this incident would have took place in the middle of the day, it could have been catastrophic. I wouldn't have thought twice to see this in Atlanta or Philadelphia, but to see it right there in our town, it's disturbing.
Ken Meny is the owner of Big M Realty, which is located just across the street from where the reckless driving took place.
Oh, wow. Yeah. They come around that corner, they were in a hurry.
He was shocked when we showed him the video.
Yeah, I just saw the video. I hadn't heard anything about it before. Yeah, it's kind of amazing. We just don't have that kind of stuff here.
The Muscle Shell County Sheriff's Office posted the video on social media, hoping to track down the driver since the car was also reported in Billings 30 minutes later. The Billings Police Department tells MTN that officers tracked the car's movement but never engaged.
I think everybody grew up in my time. They had their fun too. And we all do our crazy things as growing up as a kid. But it's this thing that happened in front here was something different.
A scary scene that could have easily ended up with someone hurt.
It's just one of those things that you never know if you're going to get that phone call because someone else was careless.
In Roundup, Charlie Kleps, MTN News.
Check out the great colors here. The fall colors starting to transition here as we take a look with the Stockman Bank weather cam this afternoon. Temperatures today right at 59 degrees at the airport now. Southwest wind at 7 miles per hour. Regionally, I want to show you this. This is from the National Weather Service office. They posted this on Twitter yesterday, and it shows the colors about this same date over the last 5 years. And notice how much more brilliant, and we're still looking at a lot of green in the trees, still a lot of green grass around. Compare that with last year when we already started to lose a lot of the leaves on the trees. So we've got a lot more fall colors ahead of us. Want to thank Christy for sharing this picture from Clark, Wyoming, where you have some of the brilliant colors there. If you have some fall pictures you'd like to share, we'd like to hear from you. You can upload those pictures to us on our free downloadable weather app or email us at weather@ktvq.com. We'll come back, take a look at the forecast right on through the weekend in just a couple of minutes.
Red Lodge Mountain got 2 inches of snow, and that means ski season is just around the corner. And you may notice a couple changes on the slopes this year.
It's the first snow of the season here in Red Lodge, and Spencer Weimar is looking forward to the start of the ski season, especially after a summer like this.
Everybody's looking forward to winter, and a normal winter in the sense that we get to go out and recreate and we don't have to deal with some of the challenges we had this summer with the flooding.
While the snow was falling Tuesday, you'll have to wait another month and a half to hit the slopes. November 25th is the anticipated opening day for the season.
We had record pass sales this year.
And you can expect to see some changes when you make those first tracks. Among them, the yurt being moved to the top of Miami Beach.
That'll be used as a snow sports warming hut.
And next year will bring even more changes to Red Lodge Mountain, the ski area getting a new lift from Alta, Utah.
We will take out the Miami chair in the spring, and then we will put in the new lift in the summer.
A plan that has been in the works for 5 years now and finally in motion after finding the used lift this spring.
All in on the project, we're spending about $2.5 million, which is a pretty significant investment for us here at Red Lodge.
A big investment, but one Red Lodge hopes will pay big dividends as the snow starts to fall. In Red Lodge, Haley Monaco, MTN News.
Well, there's an app for basically everything these days, and now there's even one for your pets. It's called the Sniff Spot app, and it's a way to rent out your yard as a dog park. Arlena Howder explains.
It's a fairly new concept in Montana, but there's now an app that lets you book playtime for your pup in, get this, a complete stranger's yard. Get it.
We all want the best for our pups, whether it's taking them to the dog park or out for a stroll. But what if your dog doesn't do well with other animals?
You've never seen something like that, huh? I'd have to take him to baseball fields or way out in the country to get him out off lead where he could just roam and not find anyone else.
Ariel DeHart's dog Nook Nook is deaf, making it hard for him to socialize with other pups.
Like, I kind of want to sniff, I kind of want to show off.
This inspired Ariel to sign up as a host for the app Sniff Spot, an app that lets people turn their yards into private dog parks.
We set it up to be a lot like Airbnb, where if you have a dog and you want a safe space for them, you can download our app.
Dave Adams first started Sniff Spot back in 2018. It now has over 10,000 hosts all over the country, but is just starting to gain traction here in Montana. Ariel DeHart is one of only 2 Sniff Spot hosts in the Billings area. Anna Touchner is the other.
It's been really easy. I just set out, some dog toys, and we're working on some agility spots for the dogs to be able to, get out their zoomies that they have, if you don't have a big enough yard.
Here's Here's how it works. You go to the app, search for sniff spots near you, book a time, and voila. The yard is all yours for you and your dog, in this case for anywhere from $7 to $10 an hour. Touchner has only had 3 customers in the month she's been doing it, but she's hopeful the idea will catch on, giving pet owners without a yard a place to play with their pets. In her case, 2 acres to play and roam.
I just want to have a safe place for animals, to be able to go and get out their energy and be able to be safe.
It's more of just awareness that we're kind of available resource for people.
In Billings, Alina Howder, MTN News.
Well, still to come on the MTN 530 News here on Q2, Montanans coming together to help a young Helena girl as she fights for her life. We'll share her story and how the community is rallying with the family. And in sports, a recent Billings senior grad is now back on the court, this time in charge of a program she once starred for. We'll hear from the Bronx coming up in just a bit.
The MTN 530 News continues right after this.